Short-term rentals have become really popular in recent years, and why not? It seems like a great way to make some money. But in the DC area, almost all of our jurisdictions have pretty strict regulations about it. So I'm here to share a little bit more about what you need to know about short-term rentals in the DC area if it's something that you're considering. So in our area, the jurisdiction, so it's either the county or DC, sets the rental regulations. The states also have some requirements, but typically the counties add on to that. In all of our areas, all rentals have to be licensed and registered, whether they're short-term or long-term. Then let's talk about what is a short-term rental. So all of our area jurisdictions, they define that as 30 or fewer days, 30 or fewer nights. Some use days, some use nights. Either way, it's about the same thing, 1 month. If it's longer than 30 days, then it's considered a regular rental, and short-term rental rules don't apply. Now, the thing to keep in mind is sometimes people are like, hey, I'm going to buy a property, I'm going to rent it out on Airbnb, it's going to be great. Well, not so fast. Because most of our jurisdictions limit short-term rentals to owner-occupied properties. Now, some allow it in non-owner occupied properties, but in those cases, they limit the number of days that it can be rented in the course of a calendar year. So all of that means not very profitable if you're only able to rent it a certain number of days. Here's a brief summary. In DC, all short-term rentals need to be owner-occupied. If you are going to rent a property and you are going to be there during that time, that's considered a short-term rental, and there's no limit to the number of nights per year that can happen. But a vacation rental is separate. That's where you are not present for the rental, and that's limited to 90 days per year. In Fairfax County, all dwellings must be owner-occupied, and it's a maximum of 60 nights per year, and no individual room rent. In Arlington, they limit it to 185 days per year. Or no, they limit it to 180 days per year. It has to be owner-occupied for 185 days. So Arlington, I would say, is, that's better than most, but only owner-occupied dwellings, so you can't buy a property just to rent it out. Prince George's County, very similar to Arlington. Property must be owner-occupied. There is a maximum of 180 days per year. Now, Prince George's County does allow for non-owner-occupied rentals. That is for a maximum of 90 days per year. In Montgomery County, Maryland, if it's an owner-occupied property and you're renting it out on Airbnb, there's no limit to the number of days. But if it is not owner-occupied, it's a maximum of 120 days per year. Now, there's one jurisdiction in the DC area that actually is pretty friendly when it comes to rental restrictions, and it's probably not the area you would think, but it is the city of Alexandria. The city of Alexandria does not require properties to be owner-occupied in order to be rented as short-term rentals. And from what I saw, please correct me if I'm wrong, I did not see any limit on the number of days a year that a property can be rented. So what this means is right now, if you want to buy a property and rent it on Airbnb for a business purpose, I would suggest City of Alexandria. But I will also say that it seems very likely that there could be some changes and that they might follow suit with some of our other jurisdictions, because that's generally how these things tend to go. The regulations usually are not all that different. In any event, I sort of don't recommend buying a property just for the purposes of renting it as a short-term rental. I think as a long-term rental or medium-term rental, great. You could try it out as a short-term rental, but the numbers really need to work as a longer-term rental, because there's a variety of different things that you might not be able to predict from the beginning. All of our jurisdictions also have taxes and fees, so that really reduces the profit. If you have any questions at all about short-term rentals in the DC area, please feel free to reach out, and I look forward to hearing from you.